Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin US dollar index on the hourly time frame. Now, when we left off was somewhere around here yesterday morning. And I was wondering what this was, why we stopped here. This green line wasn't there when I was wondering that, because we seem to be like right in the middle of we didn't come down to the neckline here, this orange neckline. It was below the mean band of the Gaussian channel. What was this? So what I typically do in those cases is I clone one of these lines here, which is the slope that we're trading in our new upwards trending channel, and I pulled that line over to here and looked to see if I could find any relationship here. Well, clearly acted as resistance here just this past Monday. Acted as resistance there. We seem to struggle with it a little bit here. It acted as support. Well, we tried to hold it as support, fell through it a little bit. But, and then here you can see it acted as support. Once you can even see we struggled a little bit there to regain support on this line, and then tested it as support there. And it acted as resistance here. So it has some sort of significance, and that's probably about as far back as it goes. So anyway, that's what that line was. Was key, apparently, that we held that as support. Once we did that, we came back up, and these are hourly candles. Clearly see held the center or the mean band of the Gaussian channel as support for several hours, and currently we are on the have broken back up into our white parallel channel, the most important channel in Bitcoin's history, and are holding it as support on several hourly candles after attempting to do so, struggling with it here for the first time. And I'm thinking this is going to stick right here. Once market opens today, I see us heading upwards. And so let's switch to a 4-hour, and you can see that we did close this 4-hour, or we closed way up into the line on the 4-hour and came back and retested it. And we have 26 minutes left on that, and still a couple hours before U.S. market opens. So this is really looking good. It's really looking good to me how we're testing these lines as support. Now, what's really funny is I bet there's a lot of chart analysts that have no idea why what we're doing here. And look, I mean, we'll switch to a 5-minute chart just for the fun of it. And I'm sure there's a lot of analysts that have absolutely no idea why this line right here is so important. So you can see we came down here. This was really, really funny right here, because I was putting in a bunch of orders right here, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, you know what? I actually did one at 66,126. Right? Was that what it was? Yeah, it was right there. It was right at the bottom of this line. It was so funny. I'm like, damn, either this is like a really, really smart move, or it's just gonna dump right here, and I should have waited. But I had faith. I was really, really confident that this line would hold, and thus far it is. And it looks like we're attempting to lift off of it there, so that's really great. Happy. I wasn't bragging there, but when you do something good, especially that good, that was really, really good. You're really proud of it. So, but I mean, it's not a lot of money. I'm just putting every little penny I can, scrounge up out of the couch and what have you. Okay. So we've held the mean band here. We're breaking up into our white channel. Now, I've added this blue dashed line. It's not really important right now. We might see a little bit of a hang up here on this blue line. It's the center line of our blue channel. I haven't talked about it in a long time. But you kind of see that we came to the bottom of the blue channel here. It did act as resistance here. We even wicked up to it right there. At the same time, we wicked up to it's where our shoulder formed, our neckline formed right there. And actually, that's really, really interesting because I have a couple different blue channels. So I'll have to get into this on another video. Our neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern formed at the center line of this blue channel and the center line of this blue channel, which are perfectly parallel to one another. I'll have to investigate that further. I just noticed that. Anyway, this blue channel is let's switch to a daily. The bottom of the blue channel, as I recall, is the major trend line from 2023 of support. Yeah. Here we are in 2023. It's where we had our bottom in December. So our blue channel was where we had traded in since the FTX collapse. See how I have a couple of different blue channels here that are kind of overlapping each other. And this is where we were trading before FTX caused this big dump here. And then you can see the interaction with the blue channels going upwards. And the bottom of this blue channel acted as support here and here. And if you recall, everybody was freaking out when we lost it here in August of 23. But in actuality, we simply came down to the base of this channel, which goes way, way back in time. We fell below it here a little bit. But other than that, you can see we came all the way down to the bottom of the channel there. And this was, I don't know what that was. But anyway, the bottom of this channel has while this has acted as support, and you can clearly see the interaction with the bottom of the channel there. I was actually thinking of a slightly different line, but it was so long ago that it is either the white channel or maybe the green channel. Anyway, I'm losing it here because this is something I haven't talked about in a long time. So we will get off that subject. And we'll have to go revisit it when I'm more prepared. Now, what I do see forming here is a sliding pickle sandwich formation, candlestick formation, which I have coined myself. And it happens when you have a large green candle and then you have a nice little short red candle at the top here, and then you have another green candle forming here. And a lot of times they form like a sliding pickle sandwich where you have some sort of, whoop, I did not mean to do that. Where you have some sort of red substance in between two pickle spears or what have you. And so this one should be a big one here. It's a very rare formation, but I believe that it could come up to this Mexican question mark here, or Spanish, or whatever, Mexican, one of those Mexican countries, their language. And that question mark is at the top of our daily Gaussian channel, which is typically what we do. When we find support on the mean band, then we will move back up to the top, probably. Might run into a little bit of resistance here, which I'm thinking, since it's Friday, that would be a good place to stop. And this white horizontal line is our all-time high from the previous cycle at 69K roughly. So hopefully today we see a good big pump upwards and then hang out here over the weekend. And that would also bring us above the center line of this channel, and it would be a good consolidation point. So that's what I'd like to see. Hopefully we have enough excitement in the market to pull that off today. If not, maybe we just continue to be boring and hang out here a little bit. Or worst case scenario, dump back down. I really would not like to see that. It may happen, and that would not, I don't know what it would be. It would be really, really boring. But I think we're ready to move onwards and upwards, so I better just get on with the rest of my day, and let's see what happens. Is there anything else we need to talk about? Let me pause for a minute while I gather my thoughts. Well, I've scrolled back a little bit because Eric Crown was talking about 67,400. Or no, I'm sorry. I think he said 67,340 to be exact. And that is right there. Yeah. That's the this high before we came back down. It's the left shoulder, the neck, the head is right here, and this is the neck. What's really, really interesting, I'll scroll out a little bit. We're on an hourly chart. And we're right here currently. That's the shoulder and the head. And so this was the last high before our lowest low here. He said he'd like to see us come up there. What's really, really interesting is that you can see our downward sloping channel that we traded in here, this consolidation of a however long it's been. It seems like it's been a long time. But if you zoom in, this shoulder is right at the intersection of the center line of that channel and this channel here. It's just really interesting how a lot of things happen at intersections of diagonal various lines. And so then what you see too, again here, remember, so this is around 67-ish to 67.3 40, 67,100 to 67,340. When we come over here to where we're at today, this is where we're at today. The other blue line of that channel I was speaking about earlier is at 67,200. Remember I said earlier we might see a little bit of resistance here, a little bit of hang up here. And that's right in the range of 67,100 to 67,340 throughout the day today. So I definitely think we're going up here. That would be and we might get a little hang up, and then once we break through there, could hit our little question mark here. So that's that. Or very possibly very possibly we just hang out here and hang out in between here. I think, over the weekend we'll hang out somewhere in this area between 67.5 and 69.5, let's say. And I did say that on the last video. I don't know if I said it on yeah, I think so. If not, it was in the comments. So be sure to check the comments of the videos too for updates to the various guesses that I'm making about where we could see price action in the near term. All right, like, subscribe, and see you next time.